Hi guys and girls, I'm Shadow's Rain, here to talk to you about the returning off-meta champion of the game. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this video, please click that like button and consider subscribing. Helps us out massively, and if you want to be part of the growing M4A1 where we upload regularly, stream a few times a week and reply to all comments, this is the place to be. So, in this video I will be breaking down the patch notes as well and what they mean for the SOCOM. I do have some SOCOM footage to show you as well, and I'll be showing you some of the SOCOM classes in this video too. Now, the SOCOM is about to become a thing again, and that is beautiful. Just before Season 5 dropped, I made a video about how the SOCOM was going to make a comeback. Then Season 5 dropped. No weapon balancing, meaning it was quicker to use the FAL than the SOCOM still to kill someone, even in fully automatic with the SOCOM. Then on Tuesday there was finally a nerf to the FAL. A useless nerf to the Bruin, and a couple of minor buffs for some LMGs, but nothing worth mentioning. So if you didn't know, I'll go over this real quick. The FAL had a pretty sizable nerf, which you can tell was engineered for Warzone and not multiplayer, and that's the only thing the developers care about, and it shows. So instead of doing 78 damage every time you clip someone's fingertip to the other player on a wooden, or even on the wooden leg of another, it will now be capped to a limit of 58 damage per upper torso shot, with it dealing less damage to legs and arms now as well. Meaning in multiplayer it's still going to two-shot people most of the time, if not three. It's still going to drop massive headshot damage. Its headshot damage range has been buffed to the point where, you know, you're making the gun really needing to be hitting the chest or the head to be competitive. But if you do hit the head, it rewards you like any DMR should. I don't have a problem with this change. I feel this change is fair. You can get out damage but for a single miss or belly shot now, which is what the gun really needed. I like the FAL. I think it will continue to use it. I will continue to use it, but right now it's become a really high risk, high reward weapon. If you hit limbs with this thing, you are now in deep, deep trouble. Like a choir boy in Hollywood kind of trouble. So, let's be talking about what this means for the SOCOM. Yes, I know the Bruin technically got nerfed, so now it takes an extra shot to kill at 50 meters. Whoop-de-doo. That changes nothing because the Grau took a million shots to kill at range anyway, and people still use that because the recoil was like a laser, much like the Bruin still is. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's talk about the returning king, SOCOM. These changes now make the SOCOM the fastest time to kill when you take headshots out of the equation. Like it used to be, the SOCOM does 48 damage per shot and 41 damage at its maximum drop-off range. It will be 78 damage per headshot, and that drops to 67 at max range, so at all ranges this is doing a lot of damage for an AR. This all means the weapon will drop people super quick. Now, like in the gun review I did for this weapon, you've got to build around this gun. This is what you want to start a fight with and end a fight with. If you have time to reload and pick somebody else off of it, go for it. No, it's a one at a time gun. It can be used in quads, but you really do need a backup option and be super aware of your positioning and the enemy's positioning. Can you isolate and beam him? Yes. Whip out the SOCOM and fight. Are you pressured by two or more and who are directly taking you on? Use your primary. In solos and duos, this thing will beast people apart. Such a strong weapon for one-on-one combat. The SOCOM does have build options too. You can build it for short range skirmishing by using an integrated suppressed barrel, or you can use the M16 barrel and build yourself a DMR that doubles up as a laser. To be fair though, with the SOCOM, your long range is cover 2. Pop yourself into semi-auto mode and you'll be doing a lot of damage at range 2. Might not be massive amounts of damage, but for every hit that you're giving someone, you're near enough taking a play off them. The ability to go long range with this thing in semi-automatic mode really helps make a competitive characteristic against the M67 and SOCOM battle for the players in your class selection. Now that sounds like a video idea actually. Comment below and hit like if you want to see that. So yeah, the fact you can devastate up close and pressure at range is fantastic, and I can't wait to get this setup all up and running again. I'm going to show you two ways I like to use the SOCOM in my class selection. Now bear in mind these are for Warzone. SOCOM is dead in multiplayer, to be honest. Right, so I am going to show you the two Warzone classes that I am using at the moment. These are based on I'd say about 8-9 hours of gameplay in Season 5. Obviously I put in a lot more time in that before Season 5. Well, Season 3 I was using a lot of the SOCOM as well. But yeah, let's just have a little look. So, I am basically running the XR, well, a variant of the XRK. It doesn't really matter, that's just the design. So I am running the FSS Predator barrel because it's got the integrated suppressor on there. It's really nice. which really helps because it means you can actually get 2 attachments for the price of 1, which helps with that sleight of hand perk. Then I'm using the underbarrel, which is the smoke grenade. Now, you can restock these with rockets. You pick up a rocket, you will pick up a new grenade launcher. And that doesn't matter if it's just for the explosive, the recon, the smoke, the concussion. You find rockets, it will replenish these. And that is huge. Absolutely huge. Because that means whenever you do use a munitions box, you can have more smokes. Whenever you ask your team, do they have any rockets, you've got more smokes. And they're always picking up rockets. Of course, I've got the animal conversion on there. That remains, that's obvious. Now, because I'm running the smoke, I do use the thermal hybrid. Helps out loads. So if I'm in a long range battle, this will really help because I can see people a lot more clearly. And you actually kind of find that a lot of people aren't actually running the perk to counter this. So people aren't using cold blooded anymore. They're just using EOD because, RPG spam is a thing. So yeah, really easy to see people in this, and you can just tap fire at range and get just pick off loads of damage. Even if you don't kill them, you're still burning through their resources. Every time you hit someone, you're doing pretty much 1 plate's worth of damage at your maximum range, and that doesn't include if you hit their head. The next one I'm using on this is Sleight of Hand. Sleight of Hand is really helpful. Now, because this is a short range setup, primarily, which can do stuff at long range, being able to reload in a pinch is massively essential. And of course, with that thermal hybrid, I can literally just flip to a red dot sight, and it is so handy. But yes, do not underestimate this smoke screen. This will get you out of a pinch when you're positionally at a disadvantage, which can happen quite a bit when you're using the SOCOM, because sometimes you may actually go too far forward, too far aggressive, and you may find that you need to backtrack. Popping the smoke's good for that. The smoke can also be used defensively as well, so if the team is trying to focus you, then you just pop the smoke on yourself, pop your head up, kill at least down one, and then you can throw smoke at another one and do the same to him as well. People don't seem to be running thermals as much. Now let's go on to the secondary. I'll rock this with a Bruin. Yes, I'm not using the 60 round mag. What? So I'm just using the Monolithic Suppressor, XRK Summit, Underbarrel. So basically I'm using these for maximum range, not necessarily range damage, but obviously that does help. But mainly for the recoil, helps me out with the recoil. I've got the VLK optic on there, which everyone's using because it has no aim down sight penalty. And then I'm using FMJ because it is ridiculously fun, pinging people from behind cover with an LMG. If you haven't tried that, WTF is wrong with you. Amped is a must perk. Usually when I do this section of a video, I'll say just whatever perks you like. Not this time. You need amped. You absolutely need to be running amped on this because you will be needing to switch weapons in a pinch very often. And yeah, then you use just whatever you like. Stun grenades are handy. I wouldn't recommend using a smoke tactical with this particular build because you're already using smoke. But yeah, I use the stun grenade just because I personally prefer them not being able to bloody move. And C4 is C4. Everyone uses C4. The next class is the what I call Widow's Wail. So basically this one is a bit of a longer range variant, which is the VLK optic on there. Now I can put this into semi-automatic mode, and I can be picking people off at range with this. It is easier to pick people off at range with this, but with the other class it is, it is possible too, and it's not too difficult. You just got to make sure that you tap your fire button. But with this you can literally switch into semi-automatic, which you can't do on the other one. So with this we've got range, recoil in this barrel, bit more recoil here, bit more range on that one, although I did initially have that as a compensator, which did actually help out quite a bit, but at the end of the day I was putting my team at a disadvantage by using that, so I couldn't justify the selection. You'll notice that I'm not using sleight of hand in this one, which yes is a bit of a problem. So what I've done for this one is that I'm using a .41 AE round Uzi, and I'm using that with amped, and you will literally flick straight to the Uzi and you'll be able to fire straight away once you change weapon. So yeah, amped again is absolutely essential on that one. But with this one you can pretty much just change whatever aspects of it you like. So if you're happy to use the iron sights, use the iron sight, pop some more recoil on there if you want to, or a sleight of hand. And yeah, the only thing with this build is that it does take slightly longer to aim down sight, so it's not going to be like your close range go-to, but you can use it at close range and absolutely melt people. The recoil on this is enough that you can take people down with one clip at medium range, but you just got to make sure that you're controlling that recoil the best you can. But with all being said, that is the class selection portion of this video. Let's get into the rest of it. But those builds depend on you as the player and what you personally like and what you're comfortable with. I treat this weapon like a secondary, as mentioned earlier, picking somebody off in a fight early, or wrapping the fight up when I know everybody else is down, or wounded, or just in bad positions. If you find time to reload safely without putting your team at risk, go for it. Those smokes have saved my backside on many occasions, and with SOCOM, give you short range aid. The only thing is you can't change your fire mode to semi because you have the grenade launcher. But that's fine because you can do that yourself, just tap fire it. Sleight of hand is a clutch perk for this weapon, but if you can't get that, you must make sure you have something light you can switch to in combination with the amp perk, so that's why I'm using the Uzi. Remember, swapping to your secondary is always faster than reloading. This weapon gives you delete potential. If you can get a clean strike on somebody, they are out the fight, just outright. Just remember your positioning is essential for this to work, especially in quads. You need to offload your damage and disappear. If you don't get the kill, you will usually have cracked them. This has value too, as instantly losing your armor is going to make people panic and lose confidence that they can beat you. So this helps make fights easier by softening your opponent mentally. So there is that aspect too. If they have you pinned, pop a smoke, take somebody to the gulag, helps me out loads. Best thing to do is if they're running at you, pop the smoke, make sure you aim down sight, and you can see them running at you, and they won't be able to see you. Brilliant little trick to get you out of that. This helped me a lot on stream last week, especially when I was 1v3 against a team of riot shields, no less. Having the smoke launcher in combination with my stun tactical grenades made this fight a doddle, allowing me to pick them off one by one. Do not underestimate those smokes. It is rewarding to use, hard to use, but will clutch 1v1s in team fights, where you may have lost using another standard weapon. Remember, you have one of the highest time to kills in the game now without headshots, and even if you do hit the head, you are going to be melting people even quicker. So, with all that being said, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Helps us out massively. If you have any friends or any Discord servers that would be interested in this kind of thing, make sure you get it shared in those too. Helps us out loads. But yeah, I'll be streaming again tomorrow night, so make sure you subscribe for that. And I'll be also using the SOCOMs again in that one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, this is probably going to be one of my main guns in Warzone now, because it is just that deadly. And when you do manage to put your playstyle around it, it is really, really, really effective. And I'd far rather have this than a sniper rifle any day. Especially when you've got a team who have sniper rifles, because what you can do is if you're putting down just bits of damage here and there at super long ranges, even if you hit 2 or 3 shots, which should say would be about 120 damage at maximum range without a headshot, then someone with a sniper rifle in your team is just going to be able to one-tap them, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And it's very good for picking up kills. What you'll find is that your snipers will end up getting more kills purely because you've softened them enough for them to get one shots off on them. And it's brilliant. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and peace.